I thought I told you to wait on the command ship. Do you think that just because you have a higher midi-chlorian count than Grandmaster Yoda, that you can just disobey me? Do you think you're fancier than me? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. I have no idea where that intro came from, before you guys ask. Just made it up, kind of. I took a quote and went for it. Went with it, so... I don't even know, guys, but one way or another, we're going to talk about Relic 8 today, and because I put out this list every once in a while, and I think it's important to update it based on the new things that are coming out in the game. There's a lot of cool new characters, and I think the biggest thing, and I wouldn't say this is necessarily that cool, I don't love it personally, but fleets is requiring in GAC that we are required to have 3 fleets, and so making sure that we have optimized pilots and everything is going to be good. I know that not everyone has an account where you're going to be putting Relic 8 on things. I have my Prevailman account, for instance, is not even 4 million GP, and I don't have anyone at Relic 8, but this is something to be looking forward to, like looking into, and also just kind of planning what characters you may be wanting to work on or what things you need to make room for. And this list isn't definitive. There's going to be a few that I missed, I'm sure. And there's also going to be a few characters that are requirement characters at Relic 8 that I'm not going to bother to mention, even if they deserve Relic 8. Like General Skywalker, for instance, isn't on the list, even though he kind of does deserve it, because Relic 8 is really good with him. So there's a lot of things going on. This is just a list that may help you on your way, essentially. Let's jump into the game, shall we? Whoa, we're in the game? Madness. How'd we get in the game? Alright, guys, so first off, you want all your Galactic Legends, Relic 8, and that should be as soon as possible. Most of them are, like, most of them require Relic 8 at a bare minimum anyways. Rey actually doesn't, but here's the thing, they all do way better the more Relic levels you have. They scale really well with Relic levels. That's built in. They all have this Galactic Legend ability. They all gain 10% max health and max protection, and they also, a lot of them have mechanics that help them to do more cool stuff, such as this Whirlwind. Based on your Relic amplifier level, it does more damage. You guys can read all this stuff, but Galactic Legends have the most stats, and when you add more stats to them, the mods are going to boost them even more and make them even more ridiculous. Now, the question for me is, like, how is this going to impact 3v3 when it comes up? I'm very interested to see, but one way or another, guys, all Galactic Legends should be Relic 8 as the baseline, and they all kind of want Relic 9, except for maybe Kenobi. I mean, he wouldn't mind Relic 9, but I don't know that he, like, needs it. So beyond that, we're gonna just ignore Galactic Legends, because it's almost self-evident. Now, we're gonna talk about pilots first here, guys, and so here's the thing. The Executor pilots, right now, this is the best fleet in the game. That may change next month or, you know, in a year, whatever. I have no idea. But here's the thing, guys. First off, people want to know if you should put Relic 9 on Piet, and I think that, so there's one reason you put Relic 9 on him over anything, and that's just your own mental state in arena. If you can go first, most of the time you have guaranteed for it, like it just, if you're climbing, it's a lot easier. Really nice to have Relic 9 on Admiral Piet. Obviously that doesn't always happen, and I should just say before we go any further on this, folks, that Admiral Piet and the whole lineup should have 6E mods at the very minimum. It doesn't matter if you have 6E or 6A, you may increase your GP a little bit by increasing those relic levels, but applying them to a ship, but that doesn't matter in terms of your overall speed and stat impact. As long as there's 6E or higher, then you'll get the stat impact. So that's the thing that we want to keep in mind with Admiral Piet and company. The other thing is, guys, there is one counter to Admiral Piet, which is I don't know. I don't think it's really that high percentage. People aren't doing it that much. But if you have Relic 8 Piet and someone uses a Relic 9 General Kenobi team negotiator, they can counter you. I don't feel like it's been super consistent. People failed on me quite a few times, but that is one kind of off-meta team. So if you get Relic 9 on Piet, you don't have to worry about it. Those Kenobi teams are just not going to mess with you. I've never done that counter, but it's just something to keep in mind. The other thing is, guys, the RNG involving this fleet can be really crazy depending on the off-meta counters the people are using, which is, Finalizer now, Malevolence, and even the mirror match with Executor. All of these pilots are going to benefit from Relic 8, frankly. They are on my list for Relic 8. It's very, very difficult for me to want to put 8 on IG-88, and he's the one that I would recommend waiting the longest for, because if you decide to do the mirror match, for instance, there's a pretty consistent, like 90% mirror match that you can get high banners with. IG-88 isn't even needed, but if you're going to put this on defense, probably need to put relics on him as well, because he comes out in reserves, he's tough to kill, and what this serves to do for all of these guys is it keeps all of the variants and all of the RNG elements crazy. Like they're gonna hit harder and they're gonna maximize the RNG that your opponent experiences. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to immediately enjoy success, but it does mean that you're going to potentially at least you're going to maximize your impact, the amount of impact that you can actually give. Now, I'll just say this. If my alt faces a guy with low relics on Cad Bane and IG-88, and like all of these characters have a baseline of like relic 5 at the even for the requirements. If I face one of those guys without any relic levels, it's so easy. It is so easy. Relic levels make an enormous difference. So this is something that you're going to cringe. I'll cringe right alongside you. They all need to be Relic 8, if possible, if you want to face the guys who have the good fleets. And if you want to mess with people, GAC is a game of imbalance. If you can find an enormous advantage in fleets, in your, like if you just have a way better ships than your opponent does, that's wonderful. Just go for it. I mean, your opponent's going to fail a lot. It's nice. I've got to stop talking about it though, guys. Look at these other pilots. There are specific reasons you want them at Relic 8. So we've got Darth Vader first, and he wants to be Relic 8 now. I know that he used to be 8 because he was awesome in squads. Now he's still, he got nerfed, he got put down to 7. Most people kept him at 7, and I don't blame you. I put him back up to 8 because I'm a little bit dumb. But here's the thing. He really, really wants Relic 8 right now because of his ship, granted. But because his ship gets fast enough to outspeed all negotiators. So even Relic 9 negotiator is going to be slower than Darth Vader now, and if he's Relic 8. And that is huge, because right now the Imperial fleet with the TIE Interceptor is going to you really, really want Vader to go first. Put target lock on so that TIE Bomber taunts, and Negotiator is a really strong counter to that comp if they can go first. So now you're going to shut down even the fastest negotiators if you have Darth Vader at Relic 8. Not to mention, he's good with Lord Vader. I know that people don't like Lord Vader, but Lord Vader does some really good work. I've been having a lot of fun using Lord Vader to kill various things, and Darth Vader's right alongside him. Next, we have Fives, and he is obviously another pilot. All of these guys are pilots, and so it's nice to put him at 8 just because you get the extra stats for the stat share, and he becomes tankier, so if people are trying to kill you, it's nicer. In addition, he has one of the fastest ships in the game, and being able to keep him faster than everyone else can be a huge advantage. So Relic 8 on 5s, it feels kind of bad a little bit, but he's good in both sides of the squad equation. It's probably worth it, guys. Next we have Crew. Crew is the guy. I mean, he's really good in squads as well. You can do the stuns, you can do the pre-taunt, all that stuff. His ship also, you want him to be relic 8 so that you can be faster than a lot of different ships. I think that he's actually faster than 5s, in fact, if you get him up to relic 8, something like that. Now I'm struggling to remember, but here's the thing, guys. The raw damage that he does is very important, and if you're trying to run an off-meta counter involving him on Executor, him being able to kill Cad Bane consistently with really big hits is just really, really nice, and you want him to be able to outspeed. I think it was trying to outspeed 5s, in fact. Is it 5s? It might be 5s, but you want him to be outspeeding people as much as you can. Jedi Knight Anakin is the same speed as, well, his ship is the same speed as Negotiator, and you really want him to be faster than Negotiator if possible. it's faster. That doesn't really, it's not possible. Unless you put him relic 9, he's not worth relic 9. Sorry, bud, you're not worth relic 9. Don't treat me like I'm a Tusken or something. But here's the thing, folks. He is the real deal damage-wise. Like he does a lot of cool stuff. He's on a lot of different good comps, and so in squads he's great. In ships, you want him to be, I mean, if you have to run him in the mirror, then it's nice for him to at least have a coin flip situation if your opponent has relic 8 on Anakin as well, and if your opponent is and if they have Negotiator, it's a coin flip. It's honestly really silly if you run the pure mirror match and you decide to go with Anakin at relic 8 and GK at relic 8 on both sides, then it's a massive coin flip. There's no rhyme or reason. Like there are ways to kind of get around it and stuff. You can put TIE Fighter Pilot in there just to hack speed so that you get the dodge and everything, etc. But I mean, on its like most pure and silly form, this Jedi Knight Anakin is. You want him to be relic 8, because if you do have the mirror match, you don't want your opponent's Anakin to go before you. And you don't want to get focused down with Negotiator. First Order Officer, guys, this is only if you have a 7-star TIE Echelon, but okay, so 7, I know that Skelterix put out a video that said Relic 7 is enough. If you put Relic 7, you're guaranteed to survive, and I'm here to tell you that that's false. No shade on Skelterix, you can't test this stuff enough on your own. You can't, and not enough people have the Echelon at 7 stars, but I've died a few different times to even, I don't know, not necessarily like mediocre, but non-maxed fleets at Relic 7. If they get the right RNG with Executor, your Echelon can just die. And so the answer, of course, is Relic 8. If they can't kill me, if they struggle killing me at Relic 7, then the Relic 8's going to be better. So I know that this one hurts, guys. I hate putting him on offense, or on Relic 8, because I don't use him in squads that much, but he is worthwhile, guys. So those are the pilots that I think should get Relic 8 in general. I mean, there are other ones that could be Relic 8 as well, but these ones, I think, are the ones that are worthy of additional attention. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think. Now, we do have a few other characters that we can talk about Relic 8 for. So Royal Guard, I mean, and this is in no particular order, just to be clear, guys. There's nothing specifically about Royal Guard that makes him the best candidate for Relic 8. Though, he is really good with Lord Vader, because Lord Vader really, really benefits from getting that extra mastery, and having extra relic levels on your Royal Guard is great. It also makes him a crazy tank. Like, keep in mind, the bonuses you get to go from 7 to 8 are really, really big. I'll show you guys on Luke. I need to get Luke up to 8 again. He used to be 8. Now he's 7. Because I kept Vader at 8 and not him for some stupid reason. But look at the stats, guys. Don't look at how embarrassingly low all my relic levels are, or mats are. So you gain a decent amount of health. You also gain plus 15 mastery, which that mastery is big. But you also, this is the biggest jump in damage you get from any relic level, including going from 8 to 9. You actually gain less damage than from 7 to 8. You get more critical chance, you get more of all of the different stats. So it's very worthwhile, guys. And if you do special damage, look at that. You get like 800 more. It's crazy. But this is the big jump for attackers, and it's a pretty good jump for guys on offense or on defense, like for tanks, I guess is the word we're looking for. But I mean, the jump from 7 to 8 is pretty big, especially for attackers. I would say it's more important, but for tanks, it's also big, especially because he has these unique where he. And remember, guys, you do want him modded for health, even though it seems like Lord Vader really wants him to have protection. You want him to have health, guys. So here's the thing. He doubles his health until the end of his encounter. So not only for every relic level that he gets, remember, he's doubling his health, and then Lord Vader does even more with that. Not to mention, guys, he has a pilot. In a ship, it's a really good important thing for that ship to stay alive once it's finally in. You'll note that I don't have a full 6E set on him because I don't consider him a must-have maxed out pilot. I don't have him 8 because he's a pilot, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maul is a guy who does damage based on multiple attacks, and every time he does his attacks, he does 60% more damage. So the more damage you give him, the more damage he's going to do. That is crazy how that works, guys. So I have him modded so that he fits in well on a Lord Vader team if you want, because the protection turns into health, the health turns into offense, but I also do have an offense set on him, so it's kind of fun. He's got the protection on everything, but then it's all an offense set and health and everything, but he wants those stats that he can get from relics. Like, though he doesn't care about speed nearly as much, he cares about health and offense and protection, and he gets all those from his relic level. So relic 8 candidate, absolutely, if you have him available. Obviously not everyone's going to have him. General Grievous is another guy who is, he's a pilot, and he makes the summoned vultures stronger based on his relic levels and everything. But on top of that, guys, he's really stat hungry. Grievous really, really wants potency. He wants health. He wants, well, maybe that's it. He wants crit damage, I suppose. Like, those are the things. He wants health more than anything. And then some crit damage is fine. Some potency is great. And then you do want some speed, depending on what you're trying to counter, guys. So here's the thing, though. It's really difficult to make him work at all the different levels if he's not high relics, because you need him to be a certain baseline of health. I wouldn't say 147k is the baseline. I could probably go a little bit lower on him, but you don't want to go that much lower. I think I could eventually, if I find the right triangle, I could swap out for a crit damage triangle. That's fine. But here's the thing, guys. He really wants as many relic levels as you can give him, including, up to relic 9. It would be nice. It boosts his ship. And, his ships, I should say, it's not like a speed threshold, but he does damage based off of his health, and he gains a pretty nice little bump off from relic up to relic 9. So, that's nice. But at the end of the day, you just want him to have as much health as possible, and once you give him enough health, then you can start doing things like give him a speed arrow so that he can be 270 speed, so that when you put him with BB-8, he's at effective 450 speed and outspeeds all the different Starkiller teams you're trying to counter. And then, everything else is health, but if you wanted to be crazy, you could put crit damage here, you could put potency here on this thing instead, so that you get your debuffs off earlier. There's all these cool things that you can do with Grievous, but it's only possible if you get him up to Relic 8 or something like that. Wampa, he really wants to be Relic 8 as well, because he needs that survivability. You want to give him a lot of tenacity if you're countering Iden teams with a lot of potency, but you really want him to get... Isn't that weird, guys? There's a picture of... This is a Tauntaun feast. I guess this is a picture of a Tauntaun arm, not his arm. Okay, never mind. disaster averted. You want him to have a lot of tenacity, guys, but he needs to have a lot of health on top of that. This isn't a lot of health. I need to get him more, but I don't know where it's going to come from. But that Relic 8 boost was really, really helpful. In addition, he ramps damage really nicely, but it's nice to have a good baseline of damage to start with, because everything needs to be tenacity with him. Starkiller is one of those guys. It's like, man, you really like Relic 9 would be nice, because you want the extra damage, of course. Like he is really hungry. He has this war going on with him. So you could either go high health and make his ultimate really good, or you can go with high offense and make the rest of his fighting really good. I tend to like the offense option better with him, just because you only get to drop that Star Destroyer once, and you don't always get to do it. But being able to get him up to Relic 8 or even up to 9 is really nice, because then you can play a little bit of both worlds. So, you know, he wants the 2 stats that he gets from Relic 8 really bad. Let's look at the next line here, guys. I've got a couple more characters to talk about. So, Ki-Adi-Mundi, he's a favorite on these lists that I make, guys, because he just does so much damage. He is so ludicrous, guys. It's like the taller your head, the more damage you can do. And the uglier the top knot that you can have. Just so ugly. But he's just an engine of destruction. If you guys ever see any of my streams, I mean, he's just crazy. He has 2 stats that he really wants are offense and crit chance, and I mean crit damage as well, and he gets all those from more relic levels. So, I mean, clearly this is Relic 9, but you get those are the things that he gets. Armor penetration's nice for him. Crit chance, crit damage. I guess he doesn't get crit damage from his relic sets, but he does. He gets some health too, yay! But the crit chance is really nice for him. Can't be understated. He really wants that high crit chance, and he wants more damage, because as an engine of destruction, he just wants to kill everyone. He wants to kill the whole town, guys. Dark Trooper is a guy who really loves Relic 8, and probably Relic 9 is too good for him. He wants as close to 1100 damage as you can get, so mine is on the weaker side. He's on the gimpy side, but I just haven't found the right mods for him, and he's not really that huge of a priority for me. But the thing is, he just wants to do damage, and he's not really that stat hungry. All he really wants, like for real, is just offense, straight up offense. He doesn't care about crit chance, because he doesn't crit on his important attacks. He doesn't care about his health or protection, because he has his stacks. And I mean, that stuff is nice, I guess, but he just wants offense, and Relic 8 is the best way to give it to him. Now, if they give us Relic 10 at some point, and after we've gouged our eyes out in frustration and panic, once we've just hated life for had a good long pout as a community, then we can get over ourselves and realize that Relic 10 is probably going to be for attackers, or it's going to give us like a speed boost, and we can all just hate life together as well, as everyone just speeds all the really good characters up for money, and we're just stuck at Relic 7 or 8. But anyways, let's stop being gloomy. The thing is, this is the best step up for him. Once we get to Relic 10, if it is attacking, he might need to jump from 8 to 10, which is going to be brutal. But he just wants offense, and that's it. And right now, he gets the best bang for his buck at Relic 8. I would recommend doing it. He doesn't need it. Like my alternate account, Professor X has him at Relic 2, and he doesn't need anything nearly as high. But the more relics on him you have, the stronger chance you're going to be able to kill people. Fennec is another similar one. She just wants to punch people really, really damn hard. And you can see I only have her at 7, and that's fine. 7 is good, but she wants the things that I have her killing. She wants to be more survivable, so that armor and all the different stats that she gets. Plus, I mean, you just can't overlook over 600 extra damage, because she does 5 hits every basic, and everyone's calling her to assist. She's also an engine of destruction. She's right there alongside Ki-Adi-Mundi and Dark Trooper. So having that extra health would be nice. Having the extra damage is nice. The crit chance, I mean, sometimes she just can't crit a lot of the guys that you're fighting, but that's still nice. Look at that jump. That is a huge jump, actually, like 7% crit chance. That's crazy, actually. Her accuracy goes up, which is nice, potentially. I don't know. But her armor, that jump in armor is really nice, too, to keep her alive against certain things. She's great, guys. A Relic 8, I would love to get her 8. She's on my very, very short list to 8. But, you know, she wants the stats that she gets from relics, and that's nice. Ninth Sister becomes a truly crazy tank at high relic levels, and I mean, she's even so my mods aren't great on her because they're not the final mods, but even at relic 6 she's over 250k. Is that right? No, 225k max health and protection before she gets any stats from any leader. And she is a crazy, she's going to be one of the tankiest characters in the game, depending on who she's with, of course, which leader and everything. But she's going to be, she's an up-and-comer, guys. Relic 8 on her is not going to be wasted as long as you want tanks. Of course, Relic 9 on her is even more completely ridiculous. She's a lot of fun. Because she does a lot of cool stuff other than just like stand there and being hit. She's like, hey, I could be fast with Lord Vader. Lord Vader makes her like 400 speed if you put the right speed set or the right mods on her, and she can daze everyone. She does a lot of stuff, and who knows what she's going to do on the Inquisitor team. But I'm like tempted to just leave her on Lord Vader, frankly. She eats whirlwinds for breakfast. That sounds pretty silly, but she does a lot of good work. Jedi Knight Luke, guys, I need to get him up to 8. We've talked about him already a little bit, but here's the thing. He does more damage at Relic 8 than at 7, and you need that extra damage, especially if you're killing things like Galactic Legends, which he's usually in the conversation for, and having that extra damage from him and more survivability if you're facing Galactic Legends is not a bad thing. Let's look at the final row, guys, and that we should be done with this pretty quick. So, Commander Luke at Relic 8. I mean, if you have Chupio on the same squad, he's going to give you a lot of, like, Chupio grabs his stats, hands them to the rest of the team, and so extra damage from your relics is nice. Having extra health is nice, and so all of those stats you get from Relic 8 is very nice for Commander Luke. Jedi Training Rey. One of these things, I don't know. So she's a tank. It would be interesting to see her at Relic 9, but at the end of the day, she's not that super ridiculously tanky. The thing that I think is really interesting here is that her dodge chance, her evasion keeps going up, and as we continue to give her if we get her to Relic 9, eventually, I'm sure we'll have to for some reason. But if we did get her to Relic 9, I mean the evasion starts to become more and more relevant, and especially under Rey, where Rey really boosts her mastery, then Jedi Training Rey just gets more and more ridiculous because of that evasion. So that's just something to look at. I think she'll probably stay at Relic 7 for me for a while, but just something I've been thinking about trying to get her there. I think probably you want her to be all health modded these days, which everyone wants to be all health modded. Alright, Commander Ahsoka Tano. She wants to be all health modded. She doesn't care about speed anymore. Well, according to a lot of the builds that we've been seeing, so, as much health as possible. And you guessed it, at Relic 8, she gains more health. Hey, look at that. You probably didn't even have to guess. You're just smart. So, yeah, the extra health. I mean, the damage is nice. I fail to see how it hasn't changed. People are like, you need her Relic 8, and I'm like, never used her at Relic 8. She's always been fine for me at 7. I don't know if you need her at 8 for damage. I think you want her there though, because the damage is nice, and you want the extra health now. It's important, guys. Malik is another one I really want to get to Relic 8 because he just gets more stat. I mean, this is the common theme, right? You want all these different stats on all these different characters, and you know, if you only want speed, you don't need more Relic levels. If you want more damage or survivability, then you do. So he gets a pretty nice little boost here from 7 to 8 on his health and protection, and his armor also goes up. So you know, and his damage, whatever, he doesn't do much damage, but you know what I'm saying. Dash Rendar is the next guy. I think he's the last in the list too here, guys. He really wants, he may want it because of his new ship. I don't know. His ship relies on speed, and we'll have to see. He also does a lot of damage. So I am going to leave you guys here. What did I miss out on? What do you guys think should be on this list? I would love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.